Mm-mm-mm. Alrighty. Hello, sexy souls. I'm sorry it has been just a minute. And that is because I had a minuscule minor surgery in regards to my mouth. Um, and it put me out of being able to communicate for a period of time. So, even after it was done, so. Anywho's, so I apologize for being MIA. Uh, I do want to get in here and do this reading. As you know, I'll do some of these. My nose, my fat. You see that my fat nose getting up? I'm just getting the stuff correct. Um, but given that, um, yeah, I'm able to talk now. So uh, we're gonna go ahead and do this. I was gonna do a week ahead something called to coffee and tarot, which just means that we're not focusing solely on this week. Although it feels like it, but I think the parameters of coffee and tarot where we don't put any kind of like expectations, time frames. We don't come in with any intentions. We just sit down, grab a cup, pull up a seat, and listen. So that's really what seems like is happening. So Spirit's just got something to talk about. Again, though, the thing is with Coffee and Tarot, you all know I will try to get clarity. I'll ask questions, but Spirit has its own agenda. Meaning, because it's completely in charge, it can ignore the shit out of a question that we ask. So it'll just move in whatever direction it sees fit. So just be aware. All right. I already feel um like a slight tightness on my neck muscles. I want to say neck muscles rather than throat. Oh. I'm excited for you. Oh my gosh. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I love the traveling to find my next place. All right, there you go. Yay! That's awesome. Congratulations. Okay, just looking at the chat. My bad. Um, where was I? Oh, I was feeling like a tightness. Like somebody might be having issues with like the muscles in their neck or throat, like being really tight. But it also kind of like radiated up into my head. So it may be how do I put this? Tension for somebody. There might be some tension. So, all right, let me give you my spiel. You are a sovereign being of your life. You get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply. My recommendation is never to Cinderella shit to make it fit. Now, as I'm talking, I am noticing I have a lot of spit, a lot of saliva. So I will try to swallow frequently. I think that like it might have something to do with the mouth work that I had done, and I haven't talked really, except to my kids a little bit. I haven't really carried on one conversation. So either one, somebody is I heard chomping at the bit. Like so something's got somebody's. I don't know how to explain it. Like like when you a big juicy steak and you start to salivate. So that might be a problem, or it could just be me. I'm gonna throw it out there though, because at this point we are a week out from what the procedure that I had done, and you'd think not, but I don't know. I have to acknowledge that I had a procedure. So when I tell you somebody's well hydrated, maybe it did. Oh, golly, I ain't never had nothing like that in my life. Like I don't have a lot of dental or mouth issues I could say. I am an anomaly though cuz they were really surprised. I still have a baby tooth at the ripe age of 45, and they were like, You got to be kidding me." And then they were like, "So you had your wisdom teeth removed?" I was like, "I've never had wisdom teeth come in." And they look at my jaw and they're like, "So because usually if you haven't had them removed, they're still in the jaw. They were never there." And I had to inform them that when I was young, as a kid, they told me I was missing a lot of adult teeth. And so technically, they were looking and they were flabbergasted. they were sharing my stuff to everybody. Like, this woman ain't never had, like, the fact that I still have a baby tooth. Because when I tell you, it looks like it's hanging on by a string. That's how little the roots are. They were dying. They were dying. I was like, they were like, it ain't going nowhere. I was like, I know. They're like, your teeth are. So, anyways, the work that I had done was such an anomaly. I've never had that much work done before. I have never experienced anything like that. So, um, fun times, let me tell you. All right, they want me to get started, and they're barking at this one. So we're gonna do Archangel Tarot. It has been raining here, and we have needed the rain because my creeks need water. All right, they need more water, and the waterfalls need water. So I just saw the Eight of Swords as I was flipping, and they harped on that. They were like, that one, they wanted me to mention it. So Eight of Swords. Um, anyways, so it's a little gloomy. If the lighting is a little weird, whatevs. It kind of looks like from my angle that it's all good, but we shall see. Alrighty. I was like anticipating when I saw the Eight of Swords, I was thinking in my head, Eight of Cups. Because I was thinking, oh, leaving. And then I saw the Four of Cups just then. That's why I took a second look. Because like, oh, there it is. Like somebody wants the Eight of Cups. Somebody wants, and this is not because you mentioned that you were leaving. Because this feels like somebody who wants the Eight of Cups and it's not come yet. Okay, Eight of Cups is like leaving something behind and going off towards your want, your desire. So you're ahead of the curve. Remember, I said whatever didn't happen last summer, because I have a ton of readings about location change and travel and finding something somewhere else because where you're at isn't like, and you need to settle in before certain global events and things like that occur, like finding home, like, all that kind of stuff won't happen until you get somewhere else. There was a massive, but there were people that weren't able to enact that. And so there is like a do-over, kind of like how, and I've discussed this with my cousin a lot, long before anybody said anything online. We talked about how like last year and this year were like a repeat of 2019, 2020. So the things that didn't go quite right and people ended up having to repeat a cycle, a 7-year cycle. This is the time frame where you're going to notice that a lot of the events are similar, even in your personal life, where you're kind of like, if you ever wanted a roadmap to what's about to occur, you can look back at those years and notice the times where you didn't do something that you potentially could have or should have. And so same as like last summer, there was like, it's almost like a dry run through, right? Where you kind of like, you're not hitting all the marks, you're not doing everything exactly the same. Again, they're showing me my son when he does his jumps, right? So he does triple jump and he does the long jump. And they'll run so they can get the size of their stride and get used to, because not every long jump track is the same, and so they kind of like have to mark their spots and different things, but they don't do the full jump because you don't want to cause any injuries because it's not the real deal. So maybe for those who are doing it this summer, last summer was meant to be a trial run where certain things were introduced so you could see how you would respond to it, or like the seeds were planted. Maybe you thought, I'm going to do this and this, and it never transpired. It just didn't work out. And you're like, I really thought. And it was kind of like, how like something germinates to where it's like you now this summer you make damn sure that you're going to do it kind of thing. It feels like that. So this is like you had a dry run for whoever this is last summer, and it's go time, the real deal, the actual run, the actual whatever it is that you're. So anyways, but I keep thinking everything's going to be an Eight of Cups. I'm like, why am I anticipating the Eight of Cups? Oh, Lord of mercy. Are you serious? There we go. Lord, this is how things get messed up. Alrighty. Tiny hands. Okay. You know those people that have the little tiny hands and like they got their sleeves, and I don't need that. I have tiny hands. Okay. I have legit tiny hands. Let's get to going. Milk thistle might mean something to somebody. That's of some kind of importance. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Justice. They want me to stick with the word justice. It's almost as if like justice is going to be served this summer. And we're getting back into those kind of reads where we're talking about like the 3-month. Like again, there's something that is like transpiring or needs to happen by the end of Leo season. End of Leo season is like the 3rd week-ish of August. I saw that on a split. 4 of water, 4 of cups. That's what I thought was the 8 of cups. Okay. Missing an opportunity. Yep. This is justice for having missed an opportunity. I cannot make it up. I love it when I say something and the cards support it. It's kind of like something should have happened, but it didn't. And this is your second go round. This is your second chance. So it's kind of like the final draft. Like the last one was a rough draft, and it was okay if it wasn't perfect, if it didn't go off without a hitch. You're doing it. It's like instead of a practice run, this is the real deal now. Again, open your eyes to the possibilities. There's justice to be had for something here. On the bottom, we have the sun. That is indicative of Leo season. So we're back at it again. There's some really big things happening. We got the 10 of cups. Ooh, son of a biscuit. It's flying out my hands. I got to move this over here, guys. Is this going to bother you to have the candle closer? That a weird light shining? Are we okay with that? All right, 10 of cups with the 5 of wands. Let's take a look at this. Emotional and material needs being met. This is loving the environment that you're in. Having love, like being content within, but also there's this reciprocal exchange with everything external to you. We can exist in environments where we're not really happy with what's happening around us, but we can maintain a sense of peace and contentment and joy within who we are. And it can be difficult. It's like kind of like doggy paddling, keeping your head above water. 5 of fire. They're bringing me to the bothersome details. There's lots of things to be taken care of with this. Let's find out what they want to say about that. But also, 5 of wands talks about like the practice run. And that might be the reason why you attained the 10 of cups this time, is because you had a practice run. Like I feel like saying things were expressed to you and you started picking up on things and you were getting certain information and stuff. And it's like you watched it unfold or not unfold. And, it's kind of like, again, it's like being coached to do the long jump. And it's one thing to be told, it's another thing to do it. Like you're told how to do it and then you practice it, but then you put it into real applicable, there's real application of everything. And so it's kind of like you needed all of that. There was probably no real expectation. It would have been nice. It would have been great if you got it right off the bat, but it's like it was a practice. And so it's almost like I feel like saying like last year you got all the questions out of the way, you got all the frustration of things not going exactly how you want, that kind of stuff. Like so it's almost like this year when things start panning out, If it's not perfect, you're okay with it because you're just happy that it's working out. I know that seems, and it's like you know where you went wrong last year, is what I want to say. Ten of Swords. End of a difficult situation, embrace the change, and expect things to get better. All right. Okay. All right. I feel like we need to get some more. Hold on one second. I want to sit with this really quick. Again, there's a lot of little details that you may have last year took issue with. This year, like, I don't give a shit. Let's just go. Let's move it. Let's keep it going. And so those little details don't seem to be as bothersome. Because like the Five of Wands is like that training card. You've been training for this. So if you feel like there have been a lot of things that tested you over the last year, it was to get you ready and malleable for this summer. How do we make sure that they don't miss this opportunity? Let's really talk about that. They want to go with the Knights in Tarot. We have the Ten of Wands with the Five of Cups. Again, it feels like last year, if there was a detail that was off, it puts you in, you would focus on that. This time, you're like, okay, whatever. If certain things don't pan out or something doesn't transpire or unfold a certain way, fine, whatever. I still can see the way through to the goal, to the end. We have two tens out here, so there's a 10-10. We have three. Holy shit. We have the Ten of Wands, Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. Wow. It's go time. In this Ten of Wands, we have an egg that is broken, okay? Five of Wands, Five of Wands. All the little details. It's in the midst of the chaos and all the little details and the feeling like in the challenge that this new beginning comes to be. That egg being cracked means something has begun. You're okay. I feel like these are more like what you had wished or wanted or desired or you know, certain things or aspects that felt good, but you're just, there's something about you're over and okay with anything that may have gone wrong, and you're solely focused on your way forward. You see it. They really want me to talk about you being over something. Something didn't go exactly quite right. And here's the thing. You probably got upset last summer when things didn't go like how you thought. Like it was probably a really major disappointment. Ten of Wands is talking about like the weight of the world on your shoulders. And with the Ten of Swords, it's like a very defeatist attitude or a sense of defeat. Feels like a continuation of carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Like you had to endure because something didn't transpire last summer. It only solidifies your willingness to not focus on spilled milk. You're like, no, I'm moving forward. There's a dedication here to not getting sidetracked by bothersome details. Okay. There's also something about your goals last summer, what you felt like was going to transpire, what you knew would transpire, what you felt connected to energetically was in opposition, I feel like, saying to somebody else. And so you may have had an element of, because we're talking about competing goals. It feels like you've narrowed down your goal to something that's very specific to you rather than attempting to wrap anybody else in that. You're making it about you. Two of Swords. Let me pull a couple cards. Chariot. And you may have had difficulty. You may have been upset at the idea or notion that you would have to either push through or do something by yourself. Again, if there was competing goals and there was somebody else involved, like maybe somebody you thought was going to help or be a part of it, or help, I'm hearing, and that wasn't available to you, you have now switched your thing where like it's now you son of a biscuit eater. It felt like too much to get things going by yourself, but something is switched where you don't see it like that. You weren't making a decision to move forward because with this we have the egg that's not cracked. So you weren't like that stopped you in your tracks. Like maybe you didn't think you were going to be facing something alone and here's the thing, it doesn't feel like it would have stayed that way, but I feel like you put something on pause because you thought, for lack of a better term, you thought you were going to have help with something from the get-go. And what you really needed was drive, and they're saying devotion to seeing something through with or without help. Help would have come in at some point along the journey, but there feels like something was missing at the beginning. And so you waited. Two of Swords really talks about that liminal space when you're trying to figure something out, because the two swords are down. So that's like information that you don't know. And so you're having to really rely on your intuition, your gut, to try and figure something out in order to move forward. We have a Chariot. Hold on. Tell me more about this Two of Swords. Two of One. Yeah, you didn't take any action because you didn't feel like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know what's happening. Like what's like I don't get it. I don't know something. I don't see something. If you're expecting something at the very like the launch of whatever it is that you're doing and it doesn't show up and you go, you like put on the brakes, you're not really, there was you hesitated as a result. You know that Jennifer Lawrence meme where she goes, "What do I do? What's going on?" Like, like that little thing where she comes into the awards after whatever and she gets on stage, she's like, "What's happening? What's going on? What do I do? What do I do? I do what?" Kind of like it's like it felt like that. You were so hinged on things beginning a certain way that when a detail went awry, you were like, "Oh, that's not the case this time." Which gives me there was a reliance on external factors to give you a sense of security in doing something, which means people, events, whatever, like what you could see. This one, you are at this point now. You're like those details. I'm over it. I'm over the difficulties that I had before. I'm over the fact that I have to do it or start or initiate something on my own. It's beginning one way or the other. I'm putting that burden down. You really are leaning on your intuition and just being led now. So you may still not be in a position you're like, I don't know how this gonna happen, but you are like, you were ready to act, you're ready to initiate. And it's all inner guidance. You are not utilizing external factors or people anymore. And that brings something to alignment for you where you're able to maneuver no matter what, right? Which is the chariot card. There's a king of pentacles, and then out come the knight of cups with that. Give me a second. Are we serious? Hold on one second. And I won't flying on the floor. For transparency, let me show you. What they are, but I'm not taking them. So 7 of Cups, Ace of Swords, Knight of Swords, 6 of Swords, King of Swords. Let me go ahead and redo this because yeah, you're like, I'll move forward by myself then. I'll move forward despite whatever. Like if there's an aspect or an element that's missing that I thought was gonna be a part of whatever, that's fine. I'll keep going no matter what. And so even without knowing, you're making moves. 2 of Wands to bring this, like you're like, this is gonna, like, you're using your intuition and your inner guidance from your spirit team on how to maneuver and move to bring something into reality. Okay. Page of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. Definitely a newbie energy between both of those. That Page of Pentacles is giving me like, I ain't never actually done this in this way. So this would be new territory for me. He's holding a scroll. Sorry, I forgot about the image on that thing. 7 of Pentacles. It's like long time coming. It's like the anticipation has worn off, hence why it's less of a burden now. Really brand new at this. You feel like a fish out of water. Like you don't got enough. Like this is not your normal. I'm just like, you feel like a kid. And the 7 of Pentacles is the idea of something is just now breaking ground. So it makes it seem like it's so super, super brand new. But again, those seeds were planted a long time ago. This is a homage to the idea that you went through a preparation period last year around this time, that trial run. So you think you're like a fish out of water, you've never done this, but you kind of did. You kind of prepared for this a long time ago, which is why it can break ground now. Okay. Who is tell me about the Chariot. Success this time around. No, tell me about the King of Pentacles. What is this? Page of Wands. Seven of Cups came out again. This doesn't feel tied to the King of Pentacles, though. I gotta be honest with you. I keep trying to match the King of Pentacles to your energy, and this feels like a person. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck it is. Seven of Cups, somebody you don't know. No shit. Page of Wands. Well, certainly brings a fire. There's brings a fire into your. Who the fuck is the King of Pentacles, and why is he just plopped right in the middle of this shit? Four of Cups. There's not much about this person. It feels like there's a fence, an energetic wall around him. Let's put these back and see if we can't get. I'm gonna pull a different deck. Hold on. Hermetic Tarot. It gets odd. And why secretive? Why plop him in the middle of this shit and then be secretive about his energy? Hold on. Pardon me. Lord, I sneezed 20 million fucking times. When I sneeze, I can't just ever sneeze once. What is going on? Hermit. Oh, I keep wanting to sneeze again. King of Cups. We do have the Knight of Cups here. If you're starting out, okay, or you feel like you're doing it on your own, you resigned yourself to this, you're okay with it, you're okay with the fact that you don't have the assistance or the help, or things aren't starting how you thought they would, hence the Five of Cups. But in this Five of Cups, you've dealt with the past. You're not crying over spilled milk. You're not focusing on the three cups that were spilled. They're even properly put back up on the shelf. You've turned around, you've seen the two cups, you picked them up, and you're ready. You're looking in the direction where they're guiding you. So you're ready. You're like, I can do this. I'll do this on my own. What you don't see, what you're unaware of, which you don't know for sure, that a part of the success in your path when you get to moving and you initiate this, there is somebody there. There's someone there. The King of Pentacles. Someone very established. I don't know if y'all can see this. You cannot. Let me see. Can we get closer? Is it gonna? It won't focus. So there here it says 3-3. That's gotta be relevant to somebody. 33. I have never seen that on this card, and I don't know why they pointed it out. So I'm just gonna say it. This person keeps to themselves. Feels pretty. Maybe it's. Is it unlike them, or is it King of Cups really discerning about showing their cards, showing their emotions, a very stoic, kind of like grounded, earthly energy with the King of Pentacles. Careful on this is someone who receives a lot of information, very intuitive, very kind of like follows their gut, but doesn't share that. Doesn't really share that. King of Cups like hides his cards really well. There's somebody that's going to be on your path. I heard that's going to join you. Very, very wise. This Hermit is someone who, this gives me, this combination, Hermit with the King of Cups, exceptionally wise, intelligent, emotionally intelligent, like a well-rounded, has a very rich internal world, well evolved internally. This is just a general read, just letting you know. Hermit really doesn't depend on external. They kind of go their own way. Okay. Very, very stable, very established. 4 of Wands. Who is this person to who I'm reading for? Son, dang. Oh, Empress, Tower, and Death card. The Death card is talking. It's a scorpionic energy. They are a part of your death and rebirth process. So they're going to be a part of your rebirth. You're going to start making moves. You're going to start doing certain things. And then they become like, again, they are a part of some massive trajectory change or shift. This is not a. It's like they're a part of your Empress era. I'm trying to discern. They bring massive transformation. Death is the child of the great transformer. I'm hearing Miley Cyrus' song, I came in like a wrecking ball. But this, I'm trying to figure out if they're playing a role in, like, they're like a connector piece, like they're connecting you to something, or in what capacity? In what capacity? Queen of Pentacles, bitch, is sort of fucking God. Why do I feel like they open the door for you to step into your natural element? Like you get to be your most truest self. Whatever it is, they open the door to a more abundant existence. And I'm getting like equally yoked. That's why we have the Knight of Cups here. So you're initiating. I don't know if you thought you were gonna start this thing with a romantic interest and that didn't work out. Or if like a knight in shining armor was gonna come and get you and you realize you gotta go do something yourself. I don't fact like it, you know what I mean? But you thought and that pissed you off and you had to deal with that and get over that and now you are and you're like, fine. It's like Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself, kind of thing. And then beep 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 beep. MF first shows up. I swear this is giving I just a baby. And they're like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're not wet behind the ears. You've got this. Okay. Okay. Secret Tarot. So tell me about the Knight of Cups. Hermit. This motherfucker is wise. This has such because Hermit with the sun. What is going on? A really, really rich internal world. Really following their own compass. Very connected to nature. Which exudes such a grounded energy. Okay. Tell me about the Nine of Cups. I know you a lie. I know you a lie. Dang. So it's like this comes in the middle of whatever you choose to do. Dare I say, it doesn't feel like you whatever you start making moves towards, it seems to kind of like come in along the journey towards that. Again, like in the middle of it. This person crosses your path. Okay, hold on, but I saw several. I saw another one. There was another one that was there. We go. No, I swear it was. There it is. Queen of Swords. Oh, are you going to be irritated because you were like, I thought, you're like, I just got over the fact that I had to do this on my own and then a motherfucker shows up? I know you lying. I know you lying. Because that queen has got her sword drawn. I just got to the place where I'm like, this is happening no matter what. Blah, 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 blah. I've got a goal. I'm moving. And you have your sword drawn. You're on the defense. About starting anything. You mad that this comes in now? I don't look. You may have resolved yourself to like, I guess I'm not going to be doing this with somebody. I'm going to be doing it on my own. So I'm going to go do it on my own. And then a motherfucker shows up and like, I know you lying. I know you're lying. And that's got you a little biffed about, oh, now this shows up. And I can't even tell if this is the same person you thought you were going to be doing something with. It doesn't feel like it. Or maybe you thought I would find love before I do this, or like maybe that was your goal. And so I don't know, there was just something surrounding a person, and that was like it pumped the brakes for you. Okie dokie. And now they show up. Lord of mercy. Of fucking course. King of Wands, Queen of Cups, Eight of Swords. Very strong. Can I just say this very grounded, well-rounded, intelligent, rich internal world, plays by their own rules, stable, rooted person shows up, poof, King of Wands, and is like adamant, very adamant about the Queen of Cups, adamant about what they see, but it's like they show up so boldly, so like, I just feel irritated that it triggers you. Eight of Swords, Nine of Wands. You were like, there's like, maybe that's why it's a Tower moment. You really want to put up your wall. You really want to be like, no. You hesitate from this. You just got yourself into a place where you're okay with doing it all on your own. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to do it on my own. And you get to go in, and then somebody thinks that they're gonna. I don't even know if it's one of those things where you feel like they're gonna mess it up for you, but it just seems like a slap in the face. You wanted it from the get-go, and it was withheld from you, is what it feels like, and then it gets brought in when it's not even because you don't want it anymore. You're supposed to want this. It's just that it was your idea and your goal that you wouldn't start a particular journey or movement towards something until that you would never do a portion of this journey by yourself. But it's always been meant to be where you initiate something by yourself and then someone joins you. Take that however you want to. Because you just didn't want to do it on your own. I don't know what made you think that things would start out that way. It just was never meant to be like that. And I'm sure it was because you were like, it was so much, Ten of Wands, it was so much to get something going by yourself that you were like, you thought, no, like somebody will be with me. The problem is that when you bank on doing something with somebody else, you stop everything if anything shifts or changes with them. So your goal changes. Let's say you want to go do X, Y, and Z, and so you make plans with your girls, you know what I mean, or the guys, and all of a sudden they don't go, so now you don't go. It's kind of like that fucking energy. It's like you were always supposed to get to going on something by yourself. If people like, here's the thing, it's one of those things where it's like it should have never been the thing that you banked things around, because then you always make changes because of other people, and you got to quit letting other people influence. That's the problem, is that you always try to enter into something where other people can influence it. So it's like if you initiate something just yourself with only you in mind, and it's kind of like if other people join in, great. If they don't, great. It doesn't really fucking matter because this is the trajectory. You know what I mean? Like then other people, your plans cannot be derailed by other people. And that's the point. Not that you're to keep people out of your path or out of your life as you venture into something, just that they shouldn't be so intricately intertwined in the how or in the reason why or that kind of stuff, because people can fuck it up for you. That's what it is. And that's what happened last summer. So this person shows up. Yeah, Eight of Pentacles. And this. See, when you initiate and start something by yourself, you're going to keep going. Again, I feel like, but when you intricately involve somebody else in your plans, then your plans are at their mercy as well. And spirit doesn't want that. Spirit doesn't want your plans at the mercy of somebody else. Okay. So we're back over here to the Seven of Pentacles, the page where you're like, oh, wet behind the ears, feeling that this is so brand new, so brand new. But you've got like some kind of game plan. There's a scroll here in your hands. And it's only through the disappointment and having to endure time until now where you've been able to finesse and refine your trajectory, your plan, and you're prepared now. So it can break ground and you can move forward, but there's something very victorious between the Chariot and the Sun. Like things are going to unfold spectacularly this time around. And I almost get like whenever it's like, oh, you're gonna be irritated when this person shows up, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? And so it's like, oh well, because it's gonna work this time. It works this time because of all of this. And so like, yeah, they can be irritated. They'll be all right. Oh yes. It keeps matching. They keep matching. Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, King of Cups, Queen of Cups. And now we have the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Like, I feel like saying this is no lie. This is no illusion. Tell me about that Seven of Swords right there. We have the Queen of Wands with the Seven of Swords and the Page of Cups. Tell me about the Seven of Swords. You're dedicated to the new start. You're just not sure. You don't know if you're fooling yourself at this point, though. And they want you to have the confidence. And they want you to take whatever opportunities show up that allows you to initiate this. I feel like somebody's about to have a jam-packed summer. A lot going on. Lots of movement and changes. Accept something, like initiate expecting more. Like this is going to develop into more. Like there's a lot more in store for you. There we go. A lot more in store for you this summer. King of Cups again. You may be so unsure when this person enters in that you're kind of like, is this some bullshit or what? And so you may treat them as if it's just friendship, as if it's just flirting, because you're uncertain, you're unsure. The spirit's like, whatever, it's a foot in the door. Or they come in with a very friendly approach. Only to then present as a King of Cups. They're not a... Oh. They may be younger. A younger individual than you. I'm not feeling like an astronomical age gap kind of thing, but a very youthful demeanor. Very, I heard the word pleasant. Okay. But serious. They may come in flirtatious and friendly and, trying to break the ice. Anything? Oh, okay. It's Three of Swords. I feel like they initiate, they give off they may be cautious too, to a certain degree. Like they don't know how to approach this. Because approaching like a page has a very friendly, flirtatious, but like innocent kind of like, again, they like to hide their cards. They like to hide their cards. We have a Three of Swords, which is some level of separation. Devil, which is the idea of freeing oneself. They may have just come out of a relationship. And so they may approach in a lighter, less serious, but I don't feel like they're less serious. You know, like somebody tiptoes in first, test the water kind of thing. Like they may come in, like approach with, they're not having, they may desire something, but they're not going to have grand expectations just yet because they're, they are drawn to you though. Very attracted. Very flirtatious. I don't understand. What was the point of like, it starts off small and grows. Why do I feel like out the gate, though, their presence is very strong and commanding? Because they're a King of Wands. They see something that they want. Again, they're approaching like a page because they are actually a King of Cups. They don't, I just knocked a bunch out of hand. They don't really show all their cards. And I think they too have hesitation because something just ended for them. And it must have been a pretty big commitment because you got the Three of Swords with the Hierophant. That's like divorce. That's like long-term commitment with someone. So, okay. Anything else you want to say? Well, this is going to be like, you're going to be like, are you fucking kidding me? All right. Well, not how I thought this was going to go, but somebody's getting justice this go round, this summer, of something that should have happened last summer. But it ain't your first rodeo this time. Knight of Swords. Major changes. Major changes. And I feel like this is talking about them where they've cut something loose. Not to scare anybody, you might be the first person that they have genuine interest in since some kind of separation. Because you're the first, if you feel like the first attempt to completely move away from whatever they used to be involved with. So like you even if you leave a person, it doesn't feel final until you decide to move in a new direction. Knight of Swords is my pivot card. It is my pivot major change, like 180 card. No going back kind of thing. Six of Pentacles. Yeah, they're changing where they want to invest their time. Yeah, this is what you would be like the first one that they would have genuine interest in since some level of a separation. Like the kind where it's like, I want to pursue you. That could add to the idea of the Seven of Swords. Like, I don't know. Like you might contemplate, like, is this something that should just stay at a friend level? But can I be honest with you? That page seems like it turns around really quick. They might act friendly and like not so serious, but that shit changes quickly because everything else feels has a very large energy to it, especially the lovers cards that came out earlier. So, they're giving me a lot of memes right now, like, hey, hi, like that person that kind of like just like, hi, like eases in, and it's like, it may just have been a long while before, you know what I mean? There's a lot of hidden deep, they kept talking about their rich internal world. So there's a lot of hidden deep, hidden emotion, and they don't let it all out in the beginning. But that probably changes very quickly. Because when I tell you, it's almost like things get serious. Because remember I said it's like, oh, I'm just a baby. Maybe this is them. I did pull these in regards to them. Now it makes sense. I was like, somebody feels like they're wet behind the ears, and I just a bit, like that kind of thing. Like they've been here before. They know what they're doing. And the Eight of Pentacles is the idea of as soon as it starts moving forward seriously. So it switches from friend to something else pretty quickly. That's what I'm seeing. So two people are like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like it's like are both kind of like approaching something like innocently, but it switches quickly. So whatever you're doing this summer, you just need to do you. Make plans for you and like only for you. And something is just going to insert itself along the way. It is not something that you need to be planning for. Because I'll be damned if your whole summer is ruined again because some Joe Schmo doesn't show up or whatever. No, you need to be making moves for yourself and making yourself happy this summer. And then somebody, and I feel like saying, be busy this summer. Be busy. You need to be busy doing stuff, not just working. I mean, like, be busy. Like, make plans for yourself to go in places and spaces. Like, really make your life rich this summer. That's what I want to say. Okie dokie. Well, I'm sure we will revisit this because they want you doing a lot of stuff for you this summer, and I'm sure that they're going to go on a lot of tangents for that. So, yeah, we're going to leave this here. I hope the message finds whoever it's meant for. This is just one of those things where it's like, oh yeah. Yeah. I'm kidding. You are going to be a little perturbed because it shows up when you're just doing you. And it's like you thought it would be here. When you're finally okay with just doing something by yourself on your own, then it shows up and you're like, I swear to God, I'm gonna throat punch somebody. That's what it feels like. You're ready. Well, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. I am praying that we get over this and can where I'm at, we are joking that it's been raining for 40 days and 40 nights. Where I live, they built a museum of sorts for Noah's Ark, and it's in the shape of an actual ark, and we might be finding out if it actually works. So, what's up? Oh. Now I know, David, that that's going to be hard at first, but congrats and good luck with that, because I know switching your sleeping pattern and shit's not the funnest thing in the world. So, I hope that goes smoothly for you, dude. Yay! Alrighty. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, Lord of mercy. That's gonna take some time, but it also gives you a more of a life. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like where you can go out where at the same time everybody else is out and about. So hopefully that goes smoothly for you. That's my wish. All right. Hope everybody has a fantastic day, and I will see you all later this week. Look at y'all. I know y'all see my fat pudge.